Okay. Am I audible?
Okay, sir. Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you for joining all. We will begin the session shortly. So number of participants are right time also joining. So Jay teacher, let me start.
Okay. So thank you.
Okay. Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome. I'm very happy to say that our geography department, in association with NSS Unit 17A and 17B, and also in collaboration with IQAC, conducted 2 days national webinar on related topics, environmental protection. We all know that our environment is presently degrading in an alarming rate. A rapid rate of environmental degradation is noticed. No doubt we human beings are induced to such kind of large scale of environmental degradation. So in such circumstances, the selected team for presentation is inevitable in the present situation. So right today, we are starting the session with a prayer. For that, I invite Hasna Mahin, first year IC department, NSS volunteer. Hasna Mahin.
മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മതമേതെങ്കിലുമാകട്ടെ, മാനവഹൃത്തിൻ ചില്ലയിലെല്ലാം മാൺപുകൾ വിടരട്ടെ. മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മതമേതെങ്കിലുമാകട്ടെ, മാനവഹൃത്തിൻ ചില്ലയിലെല്ലാം മാൺപുകൾ വിടരട്ടെ. മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, സൗഹൃദ സിദ്ധികൾ പൂത്താൻ, സൗവർണാഭരണാൽ, സൗഹൃദ സിദ്ധികൾ പൂത്താൻ, സൗവർണാഭരണാൽ, സുരഭില ജീവിത മാധുരി വിശ്വം സമസ്തമരുളുകയല്ലോ. ഓ മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മതമേതെങ്കിലുമാകട്ടെ, മാനവത്തിൻ ചില്ലയിലെല്ലാം മാൺപുകൾ വിടരട്ടെ. മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, സത്യം ലക്ഷ്യമതാവട്ടെ, ധർമ്മം പാതയതാവട്ടെ, സത്യം ലക്ഷ്യമതാകട്ടെ, ധർമ്മം പാതയതാവട്ടെ. ഹൈന്ദവ ക്രൈസ്തവ ഇസ്ലാമികരുടെ കൈകളിണങ്ങിടട്ടെ. ഏ മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മതമേതെങ്കിലുമാകട്ടെ, മാനവഹൃത്തിൻ ചില്ലയിലെല്ലാം മാൺപുകൾ വിടരട്ടെ. മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ, മനസ്സു നന്നാവട്ടെ.
Thank you, Hasna Mahin. Next, let us start with welcome speech. So for that, I invite with pleasure Dr. C.R. Dhanya, Associate Professor, Department of Biochemistry and NSS Program Officer. Teacher, please.
Am I audible?
Yes.
മനസ്സ് നന്നാവട്ടെ. Today we are observing the Wetland Day, And as you know, the richness of a country lies in its natural resources. And we are very fortunate to be part of this country, which has varying climates and varying geography, and with 400 rivers, and 4% of our land is wetland. And you already know that wetland has a lot of ecological importance because it is a natural barrier against flood and remedy for drought. And it is pregnant with biodiversity, and it is a habitat for many birds, animals, aquatic organisms. And because of human intervention, we are destroying part of it. And we have in our state is called the God's own country, but we have already faced nature's fury last 2 or 3 years as flood. So we know that if we destroy nature, it will hit back. And you must be remembering the stir against Aranmula airport led by the poetess Sugudha Kumari, and because that land would have acquired acres of paddy field and wetland, so she led a movement against the building of an airport, because the wetland would have been destroyed and we would have faced more of floods. Anyway, let us come into the formal session. We have been listening to awareness classes since a long time, and I think most of us are aware about nature resource and its sustainable development and all that. But what we need is sensitization. We are to be sensitized against destruction of nature. That is what is important now, and it's high time that we start acting. Let me come to my duty of welcoming the audience. First and foremost, I welcome our beloved principal, Srimati A.S. Jaya, who is a pillar of strength to all our activities. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Surabhi Rani, Assistant Professor at Malabar TMS College, who is the resource person. She will be sharing her thoughts and views. Then I welcome Dr. Nishad, NSS Program Officer, Srimati Marina CS, Head of the Department of Geography, Dr. Ragul Subin, Nature Club Convener, Dr. Kartika K, she is also a member of Nature Club, and all faculty and students to this August August session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dani teacher, for very meaningful welcome speech. Thank you once again. Next, we are moving to our formal inaugural section. That is for inaugural speech. With my pleasure, I invite yes, Jaya ma'am, principal, our college. So with the privilege, I invite yes, Jaya ma'am to formal inaugural speech. Ma'am, please.
Okay. Good morning to all. ആദരണീയ നിഷാദെ, ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് നിഷാദെ. ഹലോ നിഷാദെ.
ഓക്കെ മാം, ഓക്കെ.
ഹലോ, എനിക്കൊരു കോൾ ഉണ്ട്, അത്യാവശ്യ കോൾ, ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ വരാം. ഒരു മിനിറ്റ്.
Thank you all for joining. Please stay tuned ahead. Principal will join soon back. Please.
ഹലോ നിഷാദ, കേൾക്കാമോ?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
ഹലോ.
Yes, teacher, audible ആണ്.
ഹലോ.
ഓഡിബിൾ ആണ് മാഡം, ഓഡിബിൾ ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ. സോറി കേട്ടോ, എനിക്ക് അത്യാവശ്യം ഒരു കോള് ഞാൻ വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. ഓക്കെ, അതിന് നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ പേഴ്സൺ ഡോക്ടർ സുരഭി റാണി, പ്രിയ സഹപ്രവർത്തകരെ, പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ, ഇന്ന് ഫെബ്രുവരി 2 വേൾഡ് വെറ്റ്ലൻഡ് ഡേ, അതായത് ലോക തണ്ണീർത്തട ദിനം. തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങൾ എന്താണെന്നും അവയെ സംരക്ഷിക്കേണ്ട പ്രാധാന്യത്തെപ്പറ്റിയും നമ്മെ ഓർമ്മിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ദിവസം. നമുക്കറിയാം, ഭൂമിയിൽ ജീവൻ നിലനിൽപ്പിന് ആധാരമായ ഏറ്റവും അമൂല്യമായ ഒരു പ്രകൃതി വിഭവമാണ് ജലം. എന്നാൽ ശുദ്ധജല ദൗർലഭ്യം ഇന്ന് ഒരു ആഗോള പ്രശ്നമായി മാറിയിരിക്കുന്നു. കാലാവസ്ഥാ വ്യതിയാനങ്ങൾ, നിരന്തരമായി ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന കാലാവസ്ഥാ വ്യതിയാനങ്ങൾ, അനിയന്ത്രിത ജല ഉപയോഗം, ജലചൂഷണവും ഒക്കെ ഈ ജലദൗർലഭ്യം വർദ്ധിക്കാൻ ഇടയാവുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ ജലസംഭരണമാണ് തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങളും കായലുകളും തോടുകളും പാടങ്ങളും എല്ലാം. എന്നാൽ ഇന്ന് വികസനത്തിന്റെ പേരിൽ ഇവയെല്ലാം, ഈ തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങളും പാടങ്ങളും എല്ലാം നികത്തപ്പെടുകയും അവയിൽ മാലിന്യങ്ങൾ നിക്ഷേപിക്കപ്പെടുകയും ചെയ്യും. മിക്ക ഈ സ്രോതസ്സുകളും, ഈ ജലസ്രോതസ്സുകളും മലിനമാക്കപ്പെട്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞു, അത് നികത്തപ്പെട്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. മലിനജലം ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത് മൂലം നിരവധി രോഗങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നു. ഇതുമൂലം നിരവധി മരണങ്ങൾ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കുട്ടികളുടെ ഇടയിൽ മരണങ്ങൾ നിരവധി നടക്കുന്നു. അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് ഈ തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങളെ ആശ്രയിച്ച് ജീവിക്കുന്ന നിരവധി സസ്യ ജന്തുവർഗ്ഗങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അവ വംശനാശത്തിനിരയായിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ പാരിസ്ഥിതിക സന്തുലനത്തിൽ തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങൾക്ക് നിർണായകമായ സ്വാധീനമുണ്ട്. തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങൾ ഭൂമിയിൽ ജീവന്റെ നിലനിൽപ്പിന് അത്യന്താപേക്ഷിതമാണ് എന്ന തിരിച്ചറിവിലാണ് 1997 മുതൽ ഫെബ്രുവരി 2 ലോക തണ്ണീർത്തട ദിന ആയിട്ട് ആചരിക്കുന്നത്. ആയിരക്കണക്കിന് ജീവികളുടെ ആവാസ വ്യവസ്ഥ കൂടിയാണ് ഈ തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങൾ. ഇവയെ നശിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് മൂലം ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന പാരിസ്ഥിതിക പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ നിരവധിയാണ്. നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ വെബിനാറിന്റെ ടോപ്പിക്ക് തന്നെ എൻവയോൺമെന്റ് പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷനാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ വെബിനാറിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇതിനെപ്പറ്റി കൂടുതൽ അറിയാൻ സാധിക്കും. ഇവയെ സംരക്ഷിക്കേണ്ടത് നമ്മുടെ ഓരോരുത്തരുടെയും കടമയാണെന്ന് ഓർമ്മിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ കോളേജിലെ NSS യൂണിറ്റും ജിയോഗ്രഫി ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ്, നേച്ചർ ക്ലബ്ബും സംയുക്തമായി സംഘടിപ്പിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ഈ എൻവയോൺമെന്റൽ പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഈ നാഷണൽ വെബിനാർ ഞാൻ ഉദ്ഘാടനം ചെയ്യുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Next, we are moving to our felicitation section. I have privilege to invite Dr. Jolibo Sir, Associate Professor, Department of Physics and Convener NAP. Sir, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Hello. Respected Principal Jaya ma'am, Program Officers, Danya teacher, Nishal sir, Nature Club members, faculties and dear students, a very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to congratulate our NSS Unit, Nature Club and Department of Geography for organizing a seminar on environmental protection. We all aware of the need for protecting our environment. Recent ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഈ ഗ്ലോബൽ വാർമിംഗ് കൊണ്ടുണ്ടാകുന്ന പ്രശ്നങ്ങളും എല്ലാം അറിയാം. ഫാക്ടറിയിൽ നിന്നും മറ്റും എമിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കാർബൺ ഡൈ ഓക്സൈഡ്, നൈട്രസ് ഓക്സൈഡ് എന്നീ ഗ്യാസസ് ഗ്ലോബൽ വാർമിങ്ങിനെ ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യുകയും അതിന് ഫലമായിട്ട് ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ഓഫ് എർത്ത് ഡേ ബൈ ഡേ ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ടുണ്ടാകുന്ന ദൂഷ്യഫലങ്ങൾ നമുക്കറിയാം. അപ്പൊ നമുക്കൊരു ഫാക്ടറിയും മറ്റു കാര്യങ്ങളും വേണമെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഇക്വിലിബ്രിയം ഈ എൻവയോൺമെന്റിനെ എക്സ്പ്ലോയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിലും ഇതിൽ നമുക്കൊരു ഇക്വിലിബ്രിയം മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ വരാവുന്ന ദൂഷ്യത്തുകൾ വളരെ വലുതാണ്. ഞാൻ മുമ്പ് കേന്ദ്രീയ വിദ്യാലയയിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത സമയത്ത് ബൊക്കാറോ തെർമൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു തെർമൽ പവർ സ്റ്റേഷൻ ഉള്ള ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് പോവുകയുണ്ടായി. 1 മണിക്കൂർ നമ്മളൊരു വൈറ്റ് ഷർട്ട് ഇട്ട് ആ സ്ഥലത്ത് നിന്നാൽ നമ്മളെ ഷർട്ടിൽ കറുത്ത സ്പോട്ടുകൾ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റും. അത്രയ്ക്ക് എയർ പൊല്യൂട്ടഡ് ആണ്. ഇന്ത്യയെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് കോള് ഒത്തിരി ഫാക്ടറികളിൽ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, പവർ സ്റ്റേഷനുകളിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് ആൾട്ടർനേറ്റ് സോഴ്സസ് കണ്ടെത്തേണ്ടത് വളരെ ആവശ്യമാണ്. ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ഇല്ലാതെ നമുക്ക് ജീവിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. പക്ഷേ തെർമൽ പവർ സ്റ്റേഷനെ ആശ്രയിക്കുന്നതിന് പകരം നമുക്ക് ഹൈഡ്രോ ഇലക്ട്രിക് പവർ സ്റ്റേഷനെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. പക്ഷേ ഹൈഡ്രോ ഇലക്ട്രിക് പവർ സ്റ്റേഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമുക്കറിയാം, അത് ജസ്റ്റ് ലൈക്ക് എ ബോംബാണ്. അപ്പൊ അത് പൊട്ടിയാൽ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ഭവിഷ്യത്തുകൾ. പിന്നീട് നമുക്ക് സേഫ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള എനർജി സോഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ന്യൂക്ലിയർ പവർ സോഴ്സസ് ആണ്. അപ്പൊ ന്യൂക്ലിയർ വേസ്റ്റ് പ്രോപ്പർ വേയിൽ ഡിസ്പോസ് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്കൊരു എഫിഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ട് പവർ ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയുന്നത് ന്യൂക്ലിയർ പവർ സോഴ്സസ് ആണ്. അപ്പൊ നമുക്കൊരു ഈ ഫാക്ടറികളും ഇത് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന എമിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഗ്യാസസും ഇതെല്ലാം ഒരു ഇക്വിലിബ്രിയം മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയറിനെ വളരെ പൊല്യൂട്ട് ആകാത്ത രീതിയിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇതെല്ലാം യൂസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. അത്തരത്തില് നമ്മളെ അവെയർ ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളത് വളരെ ഒരു ഘടകമാണ്. അതിനുവേണ്ടി ഒരു സെമിനാർ ഓർഗനൈസ് ചെയ്ത ഇതിന്റെ ഓർഗനൈസേഴ്സിനെ ഞാൻ എല്ലാവിധ ആശംസകളും അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. നമ്മുടെ തണ്ണീർത്തടങ്ങൾ സംരക്ഷിക്കാത്തതിന്റെ ഫലമായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ശുദ്ധജലത്തിന്റെ ഷോർട്ടേജും, അതുപോലെ ഇപ്പം കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ വർക്കുകൾ പലതും വയലിലും മറ്റും മണ്ണിട്ട് നികത്തി നടത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പം ഇതെല്ലാം മാറ്റി നിർത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് ഇതിനെയെല്ലാം സംരക്ഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പോയെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ സസ്റ്റൈനബിൾ ആയിട്ട് ലോങ് റണ്ണിൽ നമ്മുടെ എർത്തില് ജീവൻ പോസിബിൾ ആയിട്ട് വരത്തുള്ളൂ. അപ്പൊ ഇത്തരത്തില് ഈ ഒരു സെമിനാർ, ഐ ഹോപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് ദിസ് സെമിനാർ വിൽ ഹെൽപ്പ് us how to protect our environment, and I wish all success for this program. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this kind of wonderful and inspiring felicitation. Next, Sir Dr. Sabine H.M., IQAC Coordinator and Assistant Professor, Department of Geology. Sir, please, for delivering the felicitation, I invite Dr. Sabine H.M. I think sir not yet joined. Sabine, sir. Okay.
He's not in the meet, sir, right now.
Okay. So next then we are moving to next felicitation. It is addressed by Srimati Marina CS, Assistant Professor and HOD Department.
There are about 217 wetland areas in Kerala that accounts for about 1/5 of the land area of the state. The Ashtamadi Wetland, Shasta Lake, Vembanad Wetland comes under the Ramsar sites. Hence, the wetland has got great importance in the environmental sustainability of our state. Today, we have got an eminent resource person, Dr. Surabhi Rani, Assistant Professor from Malabar TMS College. It is pleasure to say.
Audible, sir.
Sir, of course, audible.
Hello. Very good morning, one and all. So I'm very glad to be participate in this two-day webinar on environmental protection, organized by NSS Unit and Department of Geography. And I'd like to mention that being a convener of the Nature Club, thank you for us, the Nature Club, to be a part of this webinar. And it's a 2 days program, and the most significant thing is that it was happened to be on the World Wetland Day. And I like to mention a few words about wetland. Like nearly 50 years back in 1971, and internationally, all the countries, most of the countries all over the world in 1970, in a place Ramsar in Iran, we organize and talk about the importance of wetlands and their conservation. And nearly 50 years we passed, and we need to think about where are we now. Coming to the place where this webinar is organizing, we are in the southern tip of Kerala, and we are blessed with the 3 important, ecologically important Ramsar sites, wetlands like Sasangota or the Vembanad, or another one, third one in Kollam, 2 in Kollam and 1 in Alapi and nearby regions. And yeah, I like to mention that we are in a place where it is an ecologically sensitive area, and still there are a lot of encroachment, or there are a lot of habitat fragmentation going in these places till now. And in the name of development, or in the name of lot of things, there are still owners coming to make changes in the wetlands. And I don't want to talk more about the importance of wetlands. It will carried out by our resource person, Dr. Survi ma'am. Should talk about the how wetlands are important for our mean of our water table maintenance or socio-economic issues or our habitat development or the conservation of endemic species in this wetland. So I hope this two-day webinar is throw some light to us about the environmental conservation, more specific to the wetland. Thank you and all the best wishes for the webinar. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Rahul Subin sir, for literal and meaningful felicitation. So next I invite Dr. Baiju, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. Sir, please. Dr. Baiju, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. I think he also not joined in the group. So next we are going to.
Excuse
So
me,
before
sir.
before going to the main session.
Our ICSE coordinator, Dr.
Okay.
Sabine HM has joined right now.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I noticed the same thing. So before going to the presentation or the resource person's presentation, I right time invite Dr. Sabine HM, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology and IQAC Coordinator. Sir, please make felicitation. Sir, Sabine, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all. Sorry that I was late. I was busy with some official problems over here. So anyway, I'm not going to make a long presentation over here. I just wish all the program members a good success for this program, and maybe this will help improve the environmental aspects, that is the wetland problems. You will be able to know after the session is over. So all the best for the program for the next 2 days. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this kind of short and meaningful felicitation. Next, we are going to move to attend very important session of the national webinar, that is the resource person's talks and presentation. I have very privilege to introduce our resource person, Dr. Surabhi Rani. And I'm sure she is very intelligent, especially in various dimensions, that is mainly with environmental studies. And she is a woman, have full kind of courage. And no doubt she is a courageous woman in the present scenario. And she is having environmental intelligence. And many times I realized from many mouth of the resource persons and eminent delinquent personalities, that is from regarding her personality. Anyway, I'm very happy to say about few words regarding she. That is, she acquired her fellowship award, that is JRF in geography, and also many scientific activities and awards. And academically, she presented national and international conferences and presented many papers. And she have many publications and book reviews, many research papers and research workshop. And she is trained in professional programs, that is she well in professional training program, especially the research training programs. And she has a well working proficiency, especially in the level of software and also SPSS software programming, and good working proficiency in MS and associated Excel programming, and has well work proficiency and potentialities in geographical information system software like ArcGIS and QGIS. Then has various language skill, and she is excellent in working proficiency and can speak, read and understand many dimensions and many languages. And she is well interested and interested especially in the learning qualities and learning habit. And personally, I'm sure she is very cooperative person and revealed the cooperative minds and feel excellent to work with a very well team. And she is a person of having well leadership capability and hardworking, and she is presently enthusiastic for embracing new opportunities. And she is a person of having kind of help to others. And it is very interested to reveal the aspect that she got her Master of Arts in Geography, that is from the Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. And she secured her Bachelor of Arts, that is in Geography, from the Pana University, that is in Bihar. It is also a very important one. She is Bihar in origin by native, and presently she is working as assistant professor in the TMS Malabar College. So with very immense pleasure and enthusiasm, and by keeping the curious aspect, I invite our eminent resource person, Dr. Surabhi Rani. Ma'am, this platform is for you. Please.
Thank you so much, sir, for your so nice introduction and for this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Can everyone see the screen?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So first of all, a warm good morning to each and everyone who are present over this platform, and a warm wishes for World Wetlands Day to each and everyone. Before moving to discuss this topic, that is caring for wetlands and approach to sustainability, I would like to ask everybody to kindly assume or imagine your favorite natural habitat for just a second. Okay, and I am very sure that most of us would have imagined as your favorite natural habitat like any forest or sea beaches, hilly areas, or so on. None of us would have imagined about paddy lands, any kind of ponds, swamp, mangroves, or a particular wetlands. I'm very sure that we could not have that much ability to imagine about any kind of wetlands, because it is not our fault. Throughout the history, we not only overlooked the importance of wetlands, but sometimes we have also demonized it. It is actually not our fault. It is embedded in our thought process that wetland is of more important thing. But for your information, these wetlands holds key to help us to reach the better future. These are the micro process which help us to mitigate issues like climate change to microplastic pollution. So wetlands.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, can you please put on your video?
Okay, okay, sure.
Right then we are processing the YouTube streaming for that.
Okay, okay.
Please excuse.
Okay. Sure, sir. Actually, I forgot. Okay. Is that okay, sir?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Fine. So now let's move forward. What are wetlands? Wetlands are the areas of marsh or peatlands which can be natural or artificial, permanent or temporary, and the water which holds which are in the wetlands area can be static or flowing, and the water can be fresh, brackish, or saline, including the areas of marine water. But the important thing is that the depth should not exceed 6 meters, and that definition has been adopted from the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. So wetlands can be any area which are filled with water. which have static water or flowing water. And the most important thing is that the wetlands are transition zone between the dry land and the aquatic ecosystem. They are having the ecotone characteristics. Ecotone is the transition zone. So wetlands are holding the characteristics of ecotone from both the terrestrial as well as aquatic ecosystem. So in that way, wetlands are the very most important ecosystem on our natural earth. And the plants found in wetlands are known as hydrophytes because they are adapted to a particular kind of soil which are found in wetlands that are known as watery or hydric soil. Then there are several types of wetlands, and which we know very familiarly, that mangroves, that in Kannur the mangroves extents are most. Then marshes, coastlines, peatlands, swamps and estuaries. There are a lot more types of wetlands, but these 6 are the major types of, and in which mangroves, that are the shrubs or trees that are betterly grows in the coastal saline or brackish water. They have to grow in the salt-like water characteristics. Marshes are the thing where the water is surrounded the land for a longer period of time, and coastline is a line that is considered the boundary between sea and land. Everybody knows. Then peatlands are the thing which have the important phenomena to mitigate the climate change issues, which I will discuss later. And swamps are the wetlands which are partially or intermittently covered with water. Swamps are like the mud-like structure, mud-like landscape where the water will be partially or sometimes seasonally can be covered. And estuaries are the mouth of rivers which are going to meet the seawater. Then the thing is that how wetland works, the mechanism of wetland. So there are several things which wetlands offer to nature and to the humans. Like, it is very important thing for flood mitigation. The excess water can be absorbed by the wetlands, and the wetlands are the important resources for sustainable tourism. We can know that the lakes and particular backwaters can be considered as wetland, and they can offer a various aspects of tourism, adventures, recreational and cultural heritage. They can be a major source of that, and obviously the source of livelihood for the local people. So from the socio-economic aspect, the wetlands has much more importance. Again, the wetlands contaminants and sediments filters. If any contaminated water is flowing through wetland, the microbes and the bacterial organisms can purify that particular water. So for the cleaning of water, the wetlands work is very much important. Then again, since it is a ecotone area, wetland, because it has the both characteristic terrestrial ecosystem as well the aquatic ecosystem. So the species who can cope up with both kind of ecosystem situations, they can better live there. So that's why wetlands are considered as the hot spot for diverse biodiversity. We can get numerous kind of species from flora to fauna. So that is written here, that provides critical wildlife habitat, supports all life forms through extensive food webs. Then habitat for aquatic flora and fauna and numerous species of birds, and as well as the migratory birds we can also notice at the stretches of wetland. So it is a hub for actually embracing the all kinds of biodiverse flora and fauna and different kind of species. And also it can sustain the food habit of many people from the Asiatic region of the world. The wetlands are considered as the food bowl because they produce paddy. In Kerala also, the large stretches of paddy land are considered as wetland. So wetlands are the major source for food also, especially rice. And as I discussed that the cleaner water outflow through the wetland. So water purification work is very important through wetland mechanism. The thing is that the microbes, since water is static there, and if water flows, the flow is very slow. So bacteria and microbes are very much situated there in that particular wetland, and they are very much important for purifying the water, the contaminated water, the polluted water. And also, since water is static there, the groundwater level can be recharged slowly by slowly. So this is the all points through which we can understand that how wetlands work in a natural ecosystem. Then we can understand that wetlands are the superheroes of the Mother Earth. Generally, we overlook the importance of wetlands, and only that particular World Wetlands Day, we consider the importance of wetlands, or we organize seminar and so on. And for all the year, over the year, we talk about forest conservation, we talk about wildlife activities, we talk about human and wild conflict. But for one particular day, we talk about wetlands, and we forget the importance, the vast importance of wetlands. The first and important thing is that wetlands were, from the advent of history, the wetlands were the major source of culture and civilization. Whatever culture, whatever civilization increased or developed or flourished, it happened through the banks of rivers, through the banks of lake. In the Egypt, whatever they grew their food crops, it was happening through the help of with the help of water, which happened in the form of lakes. So whatever culture, whatever civilization we are talking today, in today era, it has the importance of wetlands. Then second, biodiversity, which I discussed earlier, that it has the major connection of both the ecosystem, terrestrial as well as aquatic ecosystem. So vast kind of species can cope up with that ecosystem, and we can get a numerous number of species there in terms of flora and fauna. Then cleaning of water the same way, the microbes can purify the polluted water, and then the flow of unpolluted water we can get. Flood prevention, if from the hilly area, from the top of the land, a gush of water is coming down, and at the down area, at the downward level of that landscape, a wetland is there. That wetland can absorb or simply can slow the flow of that gushing water. That flow of water can be reduced by particular wetlands, and in that kind of way, we can get the time for flood prevention or mitigation activities, and we can reduce the disaster, the extent of disaster in terms of loss of life. And climate control. Climate control is the major, we can say, the impact or major activity which wetlands offer to us. I discussed about the one kind of wetland, that is peatland. So peat is the thing. Peat is actually the decomposed form of plants which are in the form of decomposed. Bacteria has decomposed that particular trees or plants. So what happens instead of peatland, whenever a tree or plant decomposed, it releases the methane gas. The CO2, the form of CO2 is released in the sky, and methane is, we know that, a major source of greenhouse gases. Again, it is going to increase the heat of the our climate system. So it is again changing the climate stability of our nature Earth. But in case of peatland, since the water content is there, the plants or trees which are decomposed, they are mixed with water. So whatever microbes or bacteria, viruses, whatever is there, they will not going to let that thing to completely decay. The trees and whatever the decomposed plants are there, they will not decay properly. So the carbon dioxide and that methane which are going to be released in the sky in the open sky, that will be stored with themselves, and that's why this will further control the climatic change activities, because it is not going to release that particular methane gas through the peat wetland. That particular peat wetland will which is considered as the major climatic controlling factor. And in 2017, Congo basin was considered as the major peatland, and it was considered for the 3% of the total peatland of the area, that Congo basin in Africa. And you know that peatland are the major source for coal formation, because it has all the fossils in the improper decaying form. So in that way, this is a major thing which wetlands offer to our nature earth, to sustain the human life on on human earth. So through these things, we can understand that wetlands are the superheroes. And apart from these all things, wetlands are the major factors for socio-economic activities. They offer a large scale of livelihoods for several people. If we are offering tourism, then livelihood opportunities are there. Then, you know, in Dal Lake in Kashmir, people collect the lotus stem for their food habits. And this process has been continued from the history. So Dal Lake is a kind of wetland, and they are also offering the nadru. It is termed in the local term nadru, which is lotus stem. The people are collecting lotus stem from Dal Lake, and it is a major source for their food. So this kind of thing, socio-economic, as well as the offering the food sustainability to people. In this way, wetlands can be understood the superheroes of our ecosystem. Then, after considering all the concept of wetland, I will discuss some of cases that why wetlands are important and why should we conserve, and what are the major threats they are facing in nowadays. So first of all, the Pantanal wetland. You can see through the map that it is situated in Brazil. The major parts is in Brazil, and some of the parts are covered in Bolivia and Paraguay. Here, that blue color, that is a Pantanal wetland, and it is the world's largest tropical wetland. And it is also the UNESCO World Heritage Site as well as the Biosphere Reserve. But since it is the largest wetland of the earth, it covers 42 million acres, and it offers hub of economic activities like all the wetlands offers, and it is a major source for tourism. It recharges the groundwater level for that particular area, and also regulates the flood water. These are the major things which every wetland offers. In the same way, Pantanal wetland also offers these things to that particular ecosystem for that particular region. But there are some threats, and due to these threats, the Pantanal wetland is at the verge of decreasing, at the verge of losing their importance. The expansion of soybean and sugarcane activities. Since some human habitation are there at the border of these Pantanal wetlands, so obviously for their living, they are doing some kind of cropping activities. And since they are doing some kind of cropping activities, so expansion of agricultural activities like expansion of soybean and sugarcane is much more prominent there. Then eucalyptus monoculture. They are planting the eucalyptus for their commercial use, but it has the adverse effect on the ecosystem, the stability of ecosystem of wetland. Obviously, soil erosion, the encroachment is happening there. Extensive cattle ranching on planted pastures. Cattle ranching is very much prominent in Brazil and that kind of surrounding areas. And also the dams and waterways projects which are being built there has adverse effect on these wetlands. So these are the major threats which Pantanal wetlands is seeing and facing nowadays. Apart from these, we can understand that how difficult how difficult the species, the situation they are having there. The forest fire at Pantanal. These are the major headlines or major headlines of the news articles, newspapers, and this is a scientific report at right hand side. So I have collected these, and you can see that 2020 also forest fire happened, and last year 2021 also forest fire happened. And if forest fire is happening at Pantanal, what is going to happen? The biodiverse species will lose their extinction. They will lose their existence. They are not going to survive. So forest fire is the major threat which Pantanal wetland is facing. And a scientific report, a scientific study is saying that changes in land use change, which is obviously done by human intervention, enhance the sensitivity of tropical ecosystem to fire climate extremes. So human intervention, human induced land use enhances the tropical ecosystem fire climate extremes. So they are increasing the situations for forest fire at that particular wetland ecosystem. Then the that case study was at the global level. The next case study which I have taken here is the Cholero Lake, which is situated in Andhra Pradesh. And this is the large shallow freshwater lake and also a protected Ramsar site. And it lies between the Godavari and Krishna river deltas near the city of Eluru in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And it has also a very diverse importance in terms of species of birds, because it includes critically endangered spoon-billed sandpiper that a particular committee report has mentioned. And also that particular Cholero Lake has importance in terms of giving a ground for local as well as the migratory birds. We can witness several kind of migratory birds coming there, and after particular time they will move to their native. So it also offers a ground for flourishing that kind of species. But apart from all these important things, Cholero Lake, that is a wetland, is also facing some threats, because at the banks of this Cholero Lake, illegal fish tanks are being developed by the local people. Since it is a lake, that lake also provides some kind of better ecosystem for breeding of fishes. So illegal fish tanks for human survival, for their livelihood, people are making illegal fish tanks, and it is disbalancing the stability of Cholero wetland system. Then the diversion of Budameru into the Krishna river and the construction of a project. There a project is coming, and that is also going to disturb the ecosystem of Cholero. Then sewage and industrial pollution. There are lots of industries situated in that particular city, that is Eluru, and that all pollutants, that all pollutant materials are being disposed in that lake, and again it is polluting the Cholero Lake. Although wetland has all the ability to purify the water or give the fresh water after purifying this, but up to what extent? When the pollution level is exceeding day by day, that purifying mechanism will also decrease. So that is the thing. That is the time we have to check all these activities. Then again, through this headline of this newspaper, you can see that the mystery illness raises concern over Cholero pollution. That at the Cholero Lake, there is pollution happening, and due to that particular pollution, residents of that surrounding areas are getting sick. So when we are disturbing the nature will also create some problems to our human life. That is the thing which we can understand through this particular headline. Then again, how we can cope up with this situation? Since this is a Cholero Lake, Ramsar site, also a greater source for tourism activities. So relationship among tourism, conservation and livelihood can be possible. So if we can manage sustainability there, a sustainable use of resources in terms of tourism, in terms of providing livelihoods, in terms of managing the ecosystem, conserving the ecosystem, we can definitely secure the ecosystem of Cholero wetland. Then the third case study which I'm going to discuss is wetlands in Kerala. Kerala is very much familiar about in terms of wetlands because it has large stretches of paddy lands, although it is being converted in recent years, in recent decade. But due to the paddy lands existence, the wetlands importance in Kerala was very much prominent. So in Kerala, 3 Ramsar sites are there, that is Ashtamudi, Makota lakes and Vembanad coal wetlands. And there are also, these are the important sites, Ramsar sites, and they are supposed to be protected, but they are also facing some kind of threats to their existence. That is increased salinity, hydrological regime change. Their hydrological characteristics is being changed. When hydrological characteristics are being changed, the species are going to be affected. Pollution, conversion of natural shoreline. The buildups are coming along the coastal shoreline. So that will again disturb the ecosystem there. Then the rampant reclamation. The concept of, since people are not considering wetland, not people, the government organizations, political parties are not also considering the wetlands as a much more important thing. So they are supposed to do reclamation, means they are changing, they are converting these things to other projects like any kind of transport facilities it may occur, or built up may occur, or some kind of what we say, the project dam project or waterways can be developed there. So many types of reclamation activities can be done on wetlands through people. So here an article was there that how Kerala is destroying its wetland. So that Kerala Conversion of Paddy Land and Wetlands Act, which came into 2008, which also states that we are not supposed to convert the paddy land further. We have to conserve paddy land as an important aspect of wetland. But people are still changing paddy land to other land use activities. And this is again a major threat for such kind of ecosystem. Then the recent news, the recent debate that in Kerala protest mount against Silver Line Rail project as a mega disaster, because it is going to take the large vast of lands, large stretches of paddy lands, and paddy lands are considered as wetlands. So again, it is going to disturb the stability, the natural stability which is supposed to be happen will definitely be disturbed after coming this kind of projects. So that's why the protests are coming up. Then the Ashtamudi lake system may become hypersaline if the reduced inflow of fresh water continues. If fresh water supply is decreasing, then obviously the Ashtamudi lake will have the saline kind of water. And then if salinity is increasing, then it is not going to be of much uses. It will lose its importance. And over the past 1 decade, there has been a reduction in flow of fresh water up to 40%, which has led to increased salinity in the system. And the extent, earlier the extent was much, and nowadays the extent is going to be decreased due to the reclamation activities, due to the encroachment by people for their livelihood, for their built-up activities. Again, the dumping of pollutants, dumping of waste into lake system is a serious concern, and the fresh water inflow has declined considerably since the Cholera Dam became operational. After the Cholera Dam became operational, the fresh water which was supposed to fell into Ashtamudi Lake was being stopped. Okay. Then another is Shasta Makota Lake, and the abstraction of fresh water is done from this lake for meeting the drinking water needs for Kollam city. But the unsustainable use of that has led the reduction of fresh water in that particular lake. And again, when the fresh water is stopped there, the siltation, that means the accumulation of sand particles at the base of the lake has increased. So again, it is going to reduce the holding capacity of that particular lake. Then Vembanad coal. The large quantities of waste are generated from that Ernakulam and Udyog Mandal region, and they are being deposited in Vembanad estuary. So it is again going to pollute that particular wetland. Buildups are again coming on the bank of estuary. So these are the basic things, and we can understand that human activities are the major share for this kind of disturbances which wetlands are facing nowadays. Then the Ramsar Convention on Conservation and Wise Use of Wetlands. So 1971 place is there, that is Ramsar, which is in Iran, and that convention was held by intergovernmental treaty, and which provides the framework for national action and international cooperation for the two things, that is conservation and wise use of wetlands and their resources. So in that particular convention, the two things are major important thing, that is conservation and wise use, means the sustainable use of wetlands. But are we complying with these things? Not at all. We are just destroying our wetland ecosystem. And under the three pillars of this convention, the whatever nation has signed on this treaty has to work on. So first thing is work towards the wise use of all their wetlands and designate suitable wetlands for the list of wetlands of international importance, which we know as Ramsar list. And India has, I think, 47 Ramsar list. And cooperate internationally on transboundary wetlands, shared wetland system, and shared species. So we have to cooperate internationally to restore the importance of wetland ecosystem. Then again, after why wetlands are important thing, why should we think for its conservation, there are some kinds of measures for protection of wetlands, in which I have used 6 major points under which we can discuss its sub points. Like first will be the institutional mechanism. There are several kinds of institutional mechanism in which the National Wetlands Conservation Program, National Lakes Conservation Plan, National River Conservation Directorate, and Ministry of Environment and Forest can work together for providing certain kind of guidelines to protect and to conserve the wetlands. There are some kinds of acts and legislation, like some kinds of rules, some kinds of laws are there, that if how we have to manage our wetlands, we are not supposed to build any kind of projects at the banks of wetlands. We are not supposed to reclaim the wetlands. So for checking such kind of activities, acts and legislations are there at global as well as national level. And some states, things are also at states level, like in Rajasthan, Lakes Protection and Development Bill was introduced in 2014. So lake protection bills are also there for particular states. Then judicial interventions are also there, like in March 2014, Bombay High Court ordered the Maharashtra government that the Maharashtra government cannot build any kind of project on the banks of ecosystem. So when government is going to fail to protect the wetlands, judicial intervention may occur. And again, the sustainable use of resources. We have to use all the resources sustainably. We have to use for our present need also, and we have to keep as in a secure form for the future generation to use that kind of resources. So that is the sustainable use of resources. And in terms of wetlands, we have, since water is the main thing, so we have to manage water resources very judicially as well as efficiently. Then awareness among people. These all things are there, but if people, the citizens, of the particular country are not aware about the protection, how the things are going to work. So awareness among people is very much important thing. And then last point can be use of technology for protecting measures. Like we geographers are very much expert, we are good at mapping. We can create zonations, we can plan the things in terms of coordinates, in the terms of a particular region. So using such kind of technology, we can understand that which part of wetland is much more vulnerable to losing its existence. And in that sense, GIS, remote sensing, satellite imagery can help us. So use of technology and some kind of things like regional planning, urban planners, we geographers can work together to protect our wetlands. Because in terms of flood zonation mapping, we can also map how the flood is going to disturb the wetlands in coming years. We can predict the rate, we can predict the effect. So use of technology for protecting measures is also an important thing in this developed era. In this technology dependent era, the use of technology is the important thing. Then all things are there, rules are there, acts are there, people are also getting aware of protection and management and conservation. But whatever things are there, it is not going to be properly used at ground level, is it? Because sometimes some laws or some rules are neglecting the human aspect also. When an ecosystem is there, it is not a distinct ecosystem, it is not an exclusive ecosystem, natural ecosystem. Some kind of human interaction or some kind of human dependence is there. So why such kind of laws or such kind of rules which are made by government or political parties are not going to efficiently work? Because they are neglecting the human aspect. So whenever we are going to take any measures to protect our wetland, there should be a understanding of human aspect also, that if we are checking the human, if we are stopping the human activities completely, how the human are going to survive? So if we are going to protect the particular ecosystem, we have to also make ways for human survival. So I think for that, in that connection, we geographer, we regional planners can work together and provide major policy formulation to work in that regard, means including the human aspect as well as the natural part also. Then only the correct measures can be done at the paper level as well as at the ground level. Then at last, there is no need of becoming an environmental expert. There is no need. What is the important thing is that become a responsible citizen of your country. There are problems at global level. There are several problems at global level and we are aware of, we think of. But for that particular global problem, we cannot act. We cannot completely solve. And sometimes we are not able to solve that problem at global level. But what we can do it, we can act locally. We can solve that problem in our own particular way. So think globally, but act locally. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Surabhi Rani. And now the session is open to open discussion. Please, all participants, you can ask any query or any question regarding the presentation. You can freely ask your doubtful section to our resource person, Dr. Surabhi Rani. So the session is open to all, turning through interaction.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Dr. Surabhi Rani. Your session was really interesting. Thank you for the wonderful session. You had touched upon famous wetlands, I think. Is there a database regarding local wetlands, which we like? I am from biochemistry field, so I don't know much about where it is localized and all that. So, is there a database of wetlands situated in districts or states or any such database?
Ma'am, there is a Ministry of Environment and Forest which provides such kind of data. And apart from that, there is one website which I'm forgetting the name, which also provides the wetlands for the state of Kerala. So through that links, we can get the particular data about wetlands.
Okay.
If you see, if you want to get, I will convey to you, ma'am, in later time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Please ask any further question. So from the participants. So from the students side, please ask your doubt.
Yes.
My name is Karthika, third year geography.
Yes.
So I am not just to ask, but I just want to share some share my feel.
Okay, sure,
feedback.
sure. Yes, yes.
So it was a nice session. നമുക്ക് വെറ്റ്ലാൻഡ്സിനെ പറ്റി ഒരു പൊതുവായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു ധാരണ മാത്രമേ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ. മീൻസ് അതായത് നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാതെ വിട്ടിട്ടുള്ള കുറച്ച് ചെറിയ പോയിന്റ്സ് ആണെങ്കിലും ദാറ്റ് വാസ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് എന്ന് തോന്നുന്ന കുറച്ച് സ്മോൾ പോയിന്റ്സ് മാം ഒന്ന് എന്താ പറയാ, വി ഗോട്ട് എ ക്ലിയർ ഐഡിയ അബൌട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ആൻഡ് യു ഹാവ് മെൻഷൻ മെനി ആസ് ധന്യ മാം സെഡ് many sites that is very important globally and nationally and in our state level, and it was very nice to go through. And as you said, I think it's about sustainable measures and awareness about the people. When as you said last, think globally and act locally. When we act locally, I think many are like ഇതിന്റെയൊക്കെ കാര്യം എന്താ, these are silly things. What's that much important about environmental protection and ecosystem conservation? These all are silly things and there is not importance. They are not that much relevant. So I think your means there are many there is a proper lack of awareness among people and among the new generation and every people. I think when I say to my friends, not here but I mean in my among my classmates now, it's okay, but when I say to other people and my family and my friends, my school friends, they were all like, oh, what's it about? And they're all pointing me as something different, and why are you so tensed around these things? There is not like that. So I think the importance of sustainable measures is very relevant. That they think that environmentalists or environmental conservation is about forgetting human needs and forgetting human survival. So I think there is a need of sustainable development or sustainable measures to be
taken into consideration.
Taken into consideration, and they should be also the people should be also given proper aware, and the authorities should take it very seriously. I think that here we have many laws and acts, as you mentioned, but they are not executed well.
Yes, exactly. Actually, I want to mention one thing. Like in Kerala, I have seen many people have the tendency to do aquaculture. Aquaculture means they are farming the tilapia fish. I think you may be aware of that. Yes, they are creating fish ponds at their premises and they are doing the aquaculture. But how efficiently they are doing? Are they cleaning their ponds regularly, or are they are managing their ponds or that fauna or flora? They are not considering. They are just thinking of their livelihood. Some people are doing for recreational activities, some people for their livelihood activities. So this is the lack. From our home itself, we should be aware of such kind of activities, that how we are going to conserve our, not conservation, how we are going to manage efficiently or our ponds. So these small steps we are taking from our own level, the major impact may happen. That is for sure.
Yes, ma'am, that's true. I think the small steps they are എന്താ പറയാ അതിൻ്റെതായ പ്രാധാന്യം കൊടുക്കുന്നില്ല. ലോക്കൽ സ്റ്റെപ്സ് എടുക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇതൊരു ഇത്രയല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ, ഇതുകൊണ്ട് ഇപ്പൊ എന്ത് പ്രശ്നം വരാനാ? ഒരു മരം മുറിക്കുമ്പോഴാണെങ്കിലും ഒരു കണ്ടം നികത്തുമ്പോഴാണെങ്കിലും ഇതൊരു കണ്ടമല്ലേ, എല്ലാവരും ചെയ്യുന്നതല്ലേ, ഇത് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സില്ലി മൂഡിലെടുത്ത് പോവാണ്. അതിന്റെ ആഫ്റ്റർ എഫക്ട് ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ മുറ്റത്ത് നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരു മരം മുറിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ പ്രശ്നം ഗ്ലോബലി ആണെന്നുള്ളത് അതിന്റെ ഒരു അവയർനെസിന്റെ പ്രോബ്ലം.
Then one more thing I would like to mention that we are also making situation to disappear several streams. The streams which were existing historically, now these streams are not available in the present time. And suppose if such kind of streams, river streams are there, river streams or small streams are there, if they are present in nowadays, the flood control can be efficiently managed. The overflow of water can be engulfed through this river stream, and that hazard like situations can be avoided. So people have polluted these streams, and after over period of time they have lost their existence. So these are also the thing. We have to restore our water resources. They are the major thing, and wetlands provide such kind of opportunities. So I think through this webinar I have put some impulses in your mind so that you can start from your own level. At least you can think, you can talk to your group at least about wetlands. That is a major steps. That is one of the steps.
Yes, ma'am, of course. Thank you.
Please, any questions? So from audience, please. So this is a golden opportunity that you have got a resource person well in the area, so you can ask questions.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
My name is Samanka. My query is that is mangrove forest is considered as a type of wetland?
Yes, yes, it is considered because it has the kind of it is situated at the banks of saline water, and it has the particular kind of species which has the type that the roots can be hanged in the air. They can extract the oxygen from the air itself. So mangroves is also a kind of wetland.
Okay, thank you.
Survi,
Yes.
your presentation is very good. I want to know your views on Kerala's development. After 2017, we have a lot of catastrophic flood, drought, and landslide also. Then my question is this: how can we reach the sustainability of our lakes, rivers, mountains in Kerala? What should be our developmental orientation in future? Can you suggest your views?
Okay, sure. First of all, what Kerala has faced the hazards activities in recent times, is not only due to the human activities, but also the climatic change has the sub kinds of role. The continuous rainfall for a longer period of time, which also made the major share for that kind of hazard in Kerala. But the impact of hazard happened in a very large scale due to the human intervention which happened in terms of development over there. So what we can do to attain the sustainability in terms of that, first we have to understand the human interaction as well as the natural ecosystem. For particular ecosystem, the human interaction will be developed. There is different human interaction for different natural ecosystem. For example, for hilly areas, the people are doing, in case of Kerala, people are doing planting activities, coffee, rubber, and so on. For coastal, people, in case of lowland, people are engaged in some kind of paddy activities, paddy cropping, or vegetable farming. So different interaction can be understood for different ecosystem. So whatever rules, whatever regulations we are going to make, that should be in connection of that human dependence. First, we have to check the human activities there. If we are going to completely stop that human activities, what will be the another aspect? What will be the another source of livelihood? First, we have to consider, and after creating such kind of livelihood opportunities for human, we can think of the natural ecosystem, obviously.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much.
Hello, any more questions? I think there is no further question. So I invite Dr. Kartika K, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography and member of Nature Club, for the deliverance of vote of thanks to the meaningful section.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of all students and staff of Govt College Kariavattom, I'm extremely glad to be standing here to express my vote of thanks on this national webinar on environmental protection organized by Department of Geography, Nature Club, and NSS Unit of the college in association with IQSC. On behalf of the organization, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Dr. Surabhi Rani, Assistant Professor, MS Malabar College, who handled the session so meaningfully and fruitfully, who strived to bring us the significance of wetlands as a part of our environment and ecosystem. She has given an insightful and detailed idea on the wetland, from introducing it, mentioning the types, the working system of the wetland that we generally never been aware of, their role in the microclimatic control, the issues faced by the patchinal wetlands, and even with the special reference to Lake Cholero and wetlands of Kerala, along with measures of conservation. Dr. Surabhi, many among the participants and even us are unaware of the fact that without proper environmental aspects, how the large-scale developmental projects will disturb the natural stability of many micro and macro wetland systems. I request Mr. Abel to kindly mute yourself. Mr. Abel. It's okay, sir. I removed the person. I'm sorry, Dr. Surabhi. So actually, many among us, actually even the participants, they are unaware of the fact that without the proper environmental aspects, how the large-scale developmental projects will disturb the natural stability of many micro and macro wetland systems. I hope that this will be clear for all among our participants, and the need for the geographers and the environmentalists to provide the solution and go for developmental and environmental protection hand in hand. Once again, a special thanks to you, madam, for being a resource person, for accepting our invitation, providing the best resource, and for being with us. Thank you. Now I thank the backbone of our Govt College Kariavattom, our principal, Srimati A.S. Jaya. She has been a supporting and been with us in every academic and societal steps undertaken in our college. Thank you, madam, for inspiring us with your inaugural address. I also thank the NAC convener, Dr. R. Jollybos, IQAC coordinator, Dr. Sabine H.M., the head of the Department of Geography, Srimati Marina C.S., the Nature Club convener, Dr. Rahul Subin, for felicitating the gathering. The organizers of this webinar, yes, our teachers, they are the superstars who put their maximum effort to conduct this day a grand success. In this regard, I should specially mention the faculties of Department of Geography, members of NSS and Nature Club for organizing the event a wonderful way. I would be failing in my duty if I did not thank my fellow students, yes, the future survivors of our planet Earth. They are the ones who can make a sustainable Earth possible. So thank you, dears, for being here and making this day wonderful. Once again, I thank all of you in this session for making this webinar a grand event and making all of you remembering this year's theme that the wetland is from the action for the people and for the nature. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Karthika. Then Dr. Surabhi Rani.